everybody, welcome to yet another episode of Learning Perspectives. Today we are going to deconstruct a scene from Vertical Limit, and the concept that we are going to learn today is about risk and return on a portfolio.
Both of you, keep very still. Try and stay calm. Annie, the other cam, is it moving?
No!
Try and reach the wall. See if you can anchor us back in. Try.
It's moving!
Peter, I want you to get your knife.
What?
Just do as I say. Just get it! You don't have much time here. You have to do something for me, Peter, okay? Cut me loose.
No.
There's too much weight here. One cam's never gonna hold it.
I can get
You
it
understand
in.
what I'm saying?
I
You
can
have to
fit
cut me
in.
loose. If you don't do this,
it'll hold.
I'm gonna pull everybody down and everybody's
It'll
gonna die.
hold.
Shut
You're wrong, it'll
up,
hold.
Annie! It's
It'll
one dead or
hold.
three, Peter. You understand what I'm saying? Just think
Don't
about
make
it.
him do this!
Right, she's gonna kill your
Don't
sister.
make him do this!
Annie's gonna die if you don't do this. Now cut the rope!
No, I won't do it!
Just cut the rope!
I can't!
Cut the rope!
Stop it!
Any second
Peter,
now, that camera's gonna
Peter,
come out of the
Peter,
wall and
don't
Annie and you are
do
gonna
it.
die! Is that what you
Don't
want?
listen.
You're gonna kill your
Stop
sister!
it! Stop it!
Now cut the rope! Cut
Don't
it!
do it!
Doesn't
Don't
matter
do
about
it.
me, just cut it!
No!
We're running out of time here!
Don't do it,
Just
Peter.
cut it! Nobody's gonna
Don't
blame you for it!
do
Just
it.
cut it, Peter!
No!
We're gonna die!
No!
Any of you are gonna die! Just cut it, Peter! Please!
Now, the scene that you just saw is one of my most favorite scenes, and also one of the most intense scenes to watch. If you saw that scene, you would see that Annie, Peter, and their father find themselves hanging on a rope. And here, the risk is that the three of them can die in the next moment. And the return here is that two of them can walk out of this situation alive. And finally, like you saw in the scene, they choose to cut the father loose because of how things progress. Now, please remember that all three of them weigh separately. So, Anna, Peter, and their father, of course, all weigh differently. And their weight is becoming an impediment of them being hanging on this rope. So the father continuously shouts at Peter to cut him loose. Obviously, he is his father, and hence he has to make a very difficult choice in the moment. His sister is right above him, hanging, and while the sister again is shouting, "Don't cut him off," he has to make a decision because the father then shouts that, "You, Peter, you will kill your sister." So again, Peter is in a tough spot, tough being an understatement here, and he literally has to take that decision and let him lose. In this episode, we will understand what exactly is the risk and return on a portfolio. Now, if you understand, portfolio is a combination of different kind of securities. Now, investor himself do not put all the eggs in one basket. He also tries to put all securities, different kind of securities, which yield him the maximum benefit. So here, from this perspective of this scene, we will understand what exactly is risk and return. Like I mentioned before, Annie, Peter, and their father weigh differently on that rope. Similarly, expected return on a portfolio is the weighted average of the securities that one has. So, for example, Annie would probably be the lightest on the rope. So, her weight would be uh, approximately 30% of the entire weight on that rope, correct? Similarly, when you're calculating expected return of a portfolio, the weights are taken into consideration, which means the proportion of the security that is invested in. So, for example, if I have 100 rupees and I decide to put 50 rupees in one security and 50 rupees in another, so I am the weight assigned to that one security would be 50%. That is 50% of my money is invested in one security. Formula is expected return of security one into the weight of that particular security plus expected return on security 2 into the weight of that security. Let's again understand this with an example. If I invest in security, if two securities, I get a portfolio made and I invest in two securities. For simplification and for understanding purposes, I'm just taking two securities right now. Generally, the portfolio would have around 5 to 10 securities at minimum. So right now, let's understand the formula with two securities. So the first security, let's say I put in 60% of the money in that. So the proportion is 60%, and the return that I would have is 10%. So for the first security, for the first part, it will become zero point 0.6 into 10 plus um, for the next security, obviously it becomes 40% because I've invested 60% in the first security. So zero point 0.4 into the return that it would fetch me. So let's say it fetches me the return of 12%, right? So zero point 0.4 into 12. So now this is the formula. And come around somewhere around 11%. Higher expected return of the portfolio would be this much. Individually, while the return was different, together when I combine, the return would be different. Now, what happens when I'm adding securities in a portfolio? Now, there is a trade-off between risk and return. Now, the risk of an investor would significantly come down as I start putting in more securities. But according to empirical studies, only after 10 securities that I have put in a portfolio, the return becomes stagnant. So after that, you might not experience any growth. So again, this becomes a very important choice, just similar to what Peter had to make. One needs to let go all those securities that are not performing, the appetite of the investor. So what kind of investor is investing? So and if an investor has a good appetite, that means he or she is willing to take more chances and is wanting to put in more money, then you can go in for the risky securities as well. But if an investor is not of a high risk appetite, that means he or she wants a moderate return and is okay to put in moderate amount of money, then we really need to have a balanced portfolio to do that. Diversification, like mentioned before, is one of the greatest strategies to balance the risk and return in a portfolio. Helps in mitigating any kind of risk. All right, so I hope you understood today's concept of risk and return of a portfolio. I ask you to please like, share, and subscribe the video. Also, don't forget to check out the links given in the description box below. Make sure you're hitting the notification bell to receive regular updates. Please like, share, and also comments down below on what kind of videos you're looking forward to. Thank you very much. Take care, stay safe, and stay healthy.